Morning everyone. I'd like to take clue from the first speaker and I would like to thank everybody ahead. Sanjeevani University for a great platform, Sudhanshu specifically for taking lead and getting the university on the TEDx platform. I think it's huge. Before I get started, I want about 60 seconds of yours, okay? No hands raising, no talking to each other, no talking to yourself. Just think in your mind. What do you think is the one value that makes a great leader? Just think about it. And that one value that came to your mind, whether it was a great leader or a great human, was there ever that, do you think you have such values with you, that one value? If you do, was there ever a point in time in your life where you did not live that value? Think about it. My topic today is Unhypocrate, leading with integrity which matters the most, when it matters the most and where it matters the most. A lot of doctors, real doctors, and a lot of us like pursuing doctorate. While doing my research, my topic is on corporate hypocrisy or unhypocrite. There was a survey that I did globally, not just in India, qualitative, spending almost about 45 to 50 minutes with every person. Obviously not allowed to record because these are some personal dark moments and some really private moments. With 76 folks. And the question was, how do you feel about, your values? Do you live your values every day? When I was growing up in school, we had a moral science class that was only dedicated to values. And when we come today, we're talking about AI, we're talking about everything. So during these interviews, we were discussing, what do you think really makes a person? Make or break? Are these like life skills? Are these human skills? Or is it just me and just life the way it needs to be? And that what came out very beautifully was that we are not consciously being hypocritical. It's like the unconscious bias in us when we do certain things. So let me take you back to, everybody knows Ramayana, everybody knows Mahabharata, especially when you're from India. There is this fine divide between rules and dharma. Okay, rules are very rigid. You can't change them. But dharma is that one point wherein you're doing your duty, but you essentially contextualize it and live it that way. So let me give you an example, okay? And I'll say it more in a modern day because I don't remember exactly the way it happened, but when Ram graduated, he came back home to his dad and they were in their, what do I want to call it, in their assembly, and one of the rishis came and said, Janak, हमारे यहाँ पे, and I'll talk in Hindi, हमारे यहाँ पे कष्ट आए हैं, and I need your best soldiers or captain to come along with me, or your general of the army. And he said, yes, please take, and they'll solve everything for you. I'm here to protect you. He said, no, I want to take your son. And he said, my son doesn't know anything. He just came back. He's just finished his education and you want him to stand in front of such a difficult situation, dealing with the demons? And he says, yes, I want it. And then he says, okay, then Ram steps forward, being Maryada Purushottam Ram. He says, okay, मैं dad होके आता हूँ, मतलब in his way, right? He went, and over there they started fighting, and then came the main demon. The main demon was a woman. I was taught in school to respect women. When they come, to put my head down or my eyes down, or bow myself towards them in respect because she's Janani at the end of it. And here he's standing over here and saying, shoot her. And he's like, how can I do it? I didn't learn that. That's where the context of dharma comes in. And this is not being hypocritical, but this is being unhypocrite because you're dealing with integrity for that point in situation on the context that deserves it. And in life, if you come back, I follow the Gurbani extensively, obviously thanks to my mother's influence and where I come from. Guru Nanak says that Man jeeta, sab jeeta. If you understand your heart, you understand what you really need to do. That's what makes the most difference. So the first way of becoming an unhypocrite, based on the framework that I'm sharing with you today, is about seeing. What you see is what you get. None of this is intentional. It's just that we are conditioned and it's so unconscious that we don't know what's happening to us. So let's shift gears a bit. I saw what I saw. The next step is about Jo bola, sach bola. I'm going to speak the truth always. It's also part of our judiciary, right? But do we always speak the truth? And I will not name companies, but there are several companies when you get into RFPs. RFPs are actually called request for proposals, or you're inviting interest from companies to sign up or bid for a particular project. There are certain rules, and the rules are like ample. Let it be government RFPs or let it be private RFPs. But when it comes to that one thing that makes or break, there are certain things that are like, chalta hai, it's okay. No problem. Let's move forward, let's get the contract. That's what matters to us. And then we'll move forward. Is it right? Is it wrong? I would say it's all contextual. So there's nothing right or wrong. Everything happens in hindsight. But what's important is for us to understand what are we saying. So let me give you an example. I have a 5-year, he's 6 years now, but this happened when he was 5-year-old, my nephew. He calls me mom. And I was teaching him, I just generally, we are trying to keep the city clean. So do not throw anything on the road. Beta, keep it in your hand. When we come back, we'll put it back in the dustbin. And one day we were on the ORR in Hyderabad. It's called the Outer Ring Road. It's a beautiful road. I love racing. By the way, I'm a state champion. So I was driving at 160, 180 and telling him, see, this is so smooth, I'm in control and all that. And I was also eating. I had a tissue paper in my hand. I said, chal, theek hai, yahan pe to koi nahi hai, throw it out. I did it. When I put the window up, he looks at me and he says, Ma, you did something wrong. And I said, no beta, I'm fine. He said, but you told me that we are keeping the city clean. So aapne aise kyun kiya? And I was like, that's right. I missed it. What's important is what I'm saying, I need to live that value. And that is the second part of becoming unhypocrite. Have the ability to speak with courage when needed. Now let's move on. I saw, I said. Now I need to do it. And of course there are different setups, but let me give you one corporate and one personal setup. I'll start with the corporate setup first. It's always, when you have different functions and you're trying to align all of them, it's never easy to have everybody on the same page because everybody is an individual, has their own thought process. And the best part is building consensus and taking people along. But while you're doing that in difficult situations, it actually tells you what kind of an individual you are. There was one situation in my career very early on wherein we had a breach. I have been in IT all along, and in IT there was a breach. What happened is the guy erroneously deleted 3 lines of the code, which, and you're smiling, you know what happens, which impacted into, I think, about $27 million of loss to the client. Okay? And it came in as part of the investigation. We saw, we did everything. The fact is the guy comes forward and says during the investigation, yes, I made a mistake. It's good to make a mistake. And then we were like, okay, so we will take action. And per our DA guide, which is disciplinary action guide, we went ahead, we executed it. Lo and behold, within 2 weeks, there is a senior leader who makes a similar mistake. It came back again to the investigation committee. And as always, because I was heading the committee, it came to me and was like, okay, so this is what our recommendation is. We need your sign off on this. And I was like, hold on, what is the recommendation? And it was very hush-hush, let's just close it. So what's the recommendation? Oh, we're going to give him a warning letter. I said, okay, 2 weeks back we sacked someone. And because it's a senior leader, We are saying it's okay and I'm just going to give you a warning letter. He's like, yeah. I said, that doesn't work. Did that get resolved at my level? No. Because it's not possible. So it got bubbled up to the board. We convened with the board. We had to have 2 meetings with the board because such things are not easy. He was a very senior exec. People knew him for 20, 30 years. There's a lot of relationship that gets built when you're in the same organization. Then how can you take action against, "Arey, ye to mere ghar ka hai." You know, it's like that. So well, we did it. We did not just issue a warning letter. We had to come midway. I can't become a hero in this because I wasn't. So we took action in terms of a merit cut. We took action in terms of no bonus for 2 years and no LTI. Okay, so that was a very strong message to everybody because it actually makes the difference. And then we said, okay, so this is the professional side of doing it. The personal side is, when we were very young, my mother is very religious and she's here with us today. She got us to do the Guru Mantra. So for the Guru Mantra, for a hardcore non-vegetarian, you had to give up eggs, you had to give up non-veg, you had to promise when you were 12-year-old, you're not even teens, that you will never smoke, you will never drink, you will never party hard, all of that which you don't even know what you're missing out on. Okay, but you had to do it. Okay, we did it. And then, fine, so she said that's how it's going to be. Then obviously, you know, your friend circle is not like that. And we'd have guests who would come home. And Mama would be like, I'm not serving non-veg. And I'd be like, Mama, but they eat only non-veg. What with Rajma and Chole, they will enjoy themselves, or Paneer, you know, you need to have something more. And she's like, no, I will do what is right. And that is how we have been conditioned to grow to do the right thing. And now let's shift gears to the last one. These are all in personal capacity, right? These are like I have drawn. Now let's become together. How do you unhypocrite in the become stage? Have any of you seen a video? And you don't have to respond. Just go back and Google if you haven't. There's a video of a guy on a beach. This is like at least 10, 15 years old. He starts dancing. There's no music playing. And because he's dancing, enjoying himself, the others who are just sitting and soaking up the sun, slowly 3 people come, then 10 people come, then 30 people come. That's the culture building of I'm at a beach place, I'm here to enjoy, and I'm creating the vibe of it. Okay? So becoming is something like this, wherein people closely monitor what you're doing, and they want to take you along in that, and they will also say, if this is what you're doing, this is what I'm going to do too. And that is the phase. So with that, so I'm going to conclude now. The framework of becoming an unhypocrite is pretty simple. You see, you say, you do, and you become. Very, very simple. And my only concluding remark would be that whenever you are in a situation in life, just think, where would integrity stand for you? And when does it matter the most to you? Thank you.